For decades, the ancient town of Amediye in northern Iraq served as a testament to a rich history, untouched yet under threat. Nestled in the mountains, Amediye is an architectural gem filled with traces of its Assyrian, Yezidi, Jewish and Islamic heritage. But due to terror threats from the PKK, for many years it was closed off to the world. Well, that's now changing. Amadia traveled to Amediye to bring us an exclusive look at its revival, the people who are returning, and the visitors breathing new life into this once forgotten town.
Perched atop a high plateau in Iraq's mountainous Duhok province, Amediye's stone houses and ancient architecture can be traced back 5 millennia.
It's so authentic, so peaceful. There's still like realness in the world. It's not like influenced by it's still authentic. The people in the houses, they come out from the house and they greet you, and one had like a pomegranate tree, and he told us we can pick up from his pomegranate. They were really nice. I didn't get a feeling of danger at all.
This ancient town is experiencing a new chapter in its long history. Only a few years ago, the impact of the threat of terrorism drove hundreds of families from their homes, casting a dark shadow over life here. But now, with the area finally cleared of any immediate threats, Amediye has re-emerged, vibrant and welcoming.
That's thanks to two main developments: ongoing joint anti-terror operations between the Turkish military and the Kurdish regional government's Peshmerga forces, as well as major investments by Erbil in critical infrastructure projects to serve both locals and tourists.
The most important projects we are funding are a hospital we are building nearby and support for the many farmers here. So far, we have spent nearly $268 million on completed projects. We're also building a new road which will pass through the town's historic sites. For example, it will be easier to reach the town centre from the Amediye gate. We've also spent more than $5 million building a new university.
While these investments are happening, the region is still facing the threat of terror attacks by the PKK, which is finding it more difficult to operate where they are not welcome. And as security returns, so do the people. Esmer Kudeida came to Amediye from Germany with her family. She left Iraq more than a decade ago, but is excited to be back in this ancient town.
I am Yezidi. I came here from Germany and I love Amediye very much. This place is the heirloom of our ancestors. This place gave me a lot of peace. For me, this place is more beautiful than Germany. Organizations like the PKK should not come here.
Businesses, too, are seeing a turnaround. A local shop owner who calls himself Sheikh says his livelihood is now bolstered by the influx of tourists.
Things have changed a lot. People are investing in tourism projects like hotels, cafes, and shops like mine selling local sweets, foods, and unique souvenirs. Slowly, the tourism traffic is improving.
Even as anti-terror efforts continue nearby, the ancient spirit of Amediye is heavily present. The town, once a casualty of conflict, is now a destination of peace and revival, a place where history and the people living in it can breathe freely once again. Obaidehito, TRT World, Amediye, Iraq.
Let me introduce my next guest. Omer Ozkizilcik is a security analyst and non-residential fellow at the Atlantic Council and joins me live now from the Turkish capital, Ankara. Thank you for being with us on the program today. So Turkey's fight against the PKK terror group and its branches has been a long-standing issue in the country, and Erdogan has been putting a lot of emphasis on eradicating these terror groups, particularly since the latest terror attack that took place in Ankara.
So the Turkish counter-terrorism operations in northern Iraq have a continuity for several years now, especially since 2016. We have seen that the Turkish strategy has changed from combating terrorism inside to trying to eradicate the source of terrorism and to eradicate the bases and the security camps and training camps of the terrorist organization in northern Iraq and northern Syria. As part of the strategy, we have seen that every year with the spring season up until the end of fall, that the Turkish armed forces, together with the Kurdish Peshmerga forces, are step by step going into the mountains, cleaning off tunnels, cleaning off caves, from the PKK militants and from the terrorists. And by doing that, we have seen that over the time, every year, the progress in cleaning this area in northern Iraq from terrorist presence has actually progressing. It's a continuing process, and as a result, we see now that Iraqi Kurds are now more and more able to relocate to their hometowns, to their villages in the northern Iraq. The civilians were not able to live in their hometowns for a longer period of time. So some villages are empty for more than decades now. And the only solution for that is for the PKK to get out of northern Iraq, as the Kurdish authorities and the Kurdish government in Iraq have called for a longer period of time.
Right.
And they are increasing their demands and showing the support to the Turkish armed force.
Indeed, and Erdogan has been garnering a lot of international support for its counterterrorism operations. We know that the United States does recognize the PKK as a terrorist organization as well, but we also know that the U.S. has previously supported the YPG, which is a Syrian offshoot of the PKK terrorist organization. Donald Trump is going to be back in office, and he's known to have a good relationship with Erdogan. How can we expect the two to cooperate on this matter?
We have to look here at the Trump's option of Trump. So Trump wants to get out of Syria, but he also do not want to encourage Iran. However, the realities in Syria are quite clear. If the U.S. withdraws from Syria, it is Iran who will fill the void, because Iran is geostrategically and geographically the best prepared to fill the void, to fill the gap in an American withdrawal, if it's uncoordinated with Turkey. So therefore, Trump will have three options. The first is to stay in Syria, which Trump doesn't want, and as American forces are vulnerable to Iranian attacks. Secondly, to withdraw from Syria and allow Iran to expand its control over the entirety of the Iraqi-Syrian border region and to manifest its land bridge from Tehran to Beirut. Or a third option, and this is to coordinate and work with Turkey. If Trump decides to coordinate an American withdrawal with Turkey, the void can be filled by the Turkish armed forces, and thus Iran will not be entered the region. For that to happen, there needs to be a trade-off. The United States of America has described its alliance, its partnership with the YPG-dominated Syrian Democratic Forces in Syria as transitional, tactical, and temporary. Now it's the time to end this. And if there's an agreement reached between the two leaders, Erdogan and Trump, we may see in the coming period a Turkish-American joint approach towards Syria.
Interesting. Omer Ozkizilcik, thank you so much for being with me here on the NewsHour and sharing that insight with us. I appreciate it.